All right, it's that time we got into another session of looking at the business side of sports. The program is Sport Exchange, and I have the honor of anchoring it. My name is Jide Olaniro. On the show today, we have the sporting news, then some other interesting stories for you, as well as looking at the issue of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, where we'll be minding the business of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria on the show today. We'll go on a short break, and when I return, it will be time for me to go to tell you some of the stories making round as far as sport business is concerned.
Fantastically finished.
The Athletics Federation of Nigeria has announced a $2.75 million four-year deal kit sponsorship with sports manufacturing giant Puma. The deal will run from 2019 to 2022. AFN has also declared autonomy from the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, and it has begun a process to register the federation with relevant agencies, as well as appointing a Director General to run the day-to-day operations of its secretariats. The Access Lagos Marathon has been elevated to a silver label event. Consultant of the race, Mr. Bukola Lakpade, attributed the upgrade to the improvement in standards set right from the onset. And while the general manager of the marathon, Mr. Yusuf Ali, has confirmed that a good number of gold and silver label runners will have confirmed for the 2022 edition of the Access Bank Lagos City Build for February 8, 2020. The concession of the National Stadium Lagos and the Athletes Hostel Abuja is in the final laps. Minister of Sports and Youth Development, Mr. Sunday Dare, made this revelation through his Twitter handle, which I quote, "Our attempt at initiating a PPP gradually unfolds with private funds coming into renovation of sports facilities. The concession of the National Stadium Lagos and the Athletes Hostel Abuja is in the final laps. Fixing the rot of over a decade takes time and needs tact." End quote. And we move on. Rwanda's tourism agency have signed a 3-year premium partner deal with League One champions Paris Saint-Germain. The agreement affords Visit Rwanda branding on the warm-up jerseys worn by the players before every match and LED perimeter board signage around the Parc des Princes Stadium. Visit Rwanda will also receive player access rights for promotional work, including visit to the country where a PSG club academy will be created in the capital, Kigali. The deal is worth between €8 million and €10 million per year in the same region as the agreement made by Visit Rwanda with Premier League club sides Arsenal in May 2018. FIFA President Gianni Infantino is proposing an African Football League in a bid to make the game compete with the big leagues around the world. Speaking during a visit to Lubumbashi in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Infantino says the new competition could generate $200 million in revenue, while also expressing his desire to introduce regional competitions and youth tournaments to help develop young African talents. And still on football, more than £500 million has been spent so far in 2019 on agents and intermediaries involved in international transfers, FIFA says. A report by football's governing body says global spending on commissions has reached a record $653.9, an increase of almost 20% on last year. In the reports, clubs from Italy, England, Germany, Portugal, Spain, and France paid 80% of the money combined, while Portuguese clubs spent more on commissions than transfers. And let's go straight to golf. U.S. golfer Tiger Woods has revealed he turned down a $3 million appearance fee to play at the controversial Saudi International Tournament on the European Tour early next year. The tournament, which is sponsored by the Saudi government, has received criticism because of the country's poor human rights record. Nonetheless, the likes of Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Patrick Reed, Sergio Garcia, Shane Lowry, Eric Stenson, and Tony Finau also have committed to play in Saudi Arabia from January 30 to February 2nd, 2020. Okay, all right, let's go straight to triathlon. The executive board of the International Triathlon Union, led by President Marisol Casado, has appointed RBL brand agency for a full rebranding exercise for the ITU. According to ITU, the agency was selected for their creative, innovative, and supportive approach, as well as for their vast experience in the field. The award of the rebranding contract came after presentations from 3 different design agencies. A new competition has also been added to the union calendar for 2020. And back to football. Global e-commerce company Amazon Prime is making an entry into the money-spinning world of Premier League as a right holder by broadcasting live and exclusive the 2019-2020 season Premier League fixtures. The streaming platform picked up a 3-year deal to show 20 games per season. All 20 games will be screened this December, including the Boxing Day round of fixtures. And that's it for sport business on this show today. Let's take another break before we return, and that time it will be time to go straight to meet our guest on the segment, The Dugout. Don't go away.
Fantastically finished.
Welcome back. It's still Sport Exchange. The state of athletics in Nigeria today really depicts the 0-0 narrative. If one is to compare the good old days of the 80s into the early 90s, when performance on the track was stimulated by vibrant competition bankrolled by corporate sector. If you still doubt how bad things have gone, then ask yourself who actually was responsible for the disappearance of the $130,000 sent by the World Athletics to the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. Although there's been a complete refund by the Sport Ministry, but the culprit is still a mystery. The Oyeshade Olatoye's transfer of allegiance, which was bungled by some elements in the Athletics Federation, denying Nigeria a gold and bronze medal at the last Africa Games in Rabat, Morocco, is another display of crass incompetence. Again, how on earth will a federation register athletes for the wrong event as demonstrated by Team Nigeria to the last World Athletics Championship in Doha, leaving Blessing Okagbare and Divine Oduduru as victims of maladministration? On that note, I want to welcome my guest to the show today. Ken Ochonogo makes his debut. Ken, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Judy. It's my pleasure.
All right. Ken, we're looking at the Athletics Federation of Nigeria that has an autonomy now. That's one of the things sports analysts like you have always said about how do we move sports from the stranglehold of government and take it to where it should be, the corporate sector. Are you excited about the autonomy, if that is the word right now?
I think I rather said I'm intrigued.
Why rather?
Yeah, I would say I would intrigue because we've been searching for this. We've been saying it that government has too many things on its shoulders. You driving down here, you know the state of the roads. Our schools, we need a lot of funding. The hospitals, we need drugs. We need, we need to even we even owe civil servants, and look at the issue with the university lecturers all over there. We need money. Mm-hmm. So it will come as it's supposed to be a pleasant news to our ears when a federation says, "I am now autonomous. Mm-hmm. I no longer listen to you. I no longer take instructions from you, but above all, I no longer take funding from you." Because that is what autonomy, that is what independence, that is what being your man, is all about. But then you look at what is happening now, at the stage which it is happening, and what led to what they did. It didn't start now. It started from even when the elections were done. Okay. You get it. So you autonomy for athletics, autonomy for basketball, autonomy for football. I mean, these are all the houses that had a fire, mm-hmm. They're raising on their roof. Mm. So why am I not excited? Autonomy should be a process. Okay. The stage of going to become autonomous should be a process. Right. It's not because I'm no longer dependent on you to fund my activities, if that is what you mean. Because even now this is just saying it, let us see it work out in actions. I should expect that the present board were elected by government. I should expect that before such pronouncements are made, I should expect that they should say, look, after this board, first of all, they have to change their constitution. They have to change their statutes. And said, because it was government that midwifed this board. Okay. So this board is, is government that say you go there. So before the next board, this is what we are going to do. We are going to change our constitution. We are going to conduct our own elections. We are going to do with accordance with IWDF statutes and all that. But you don't just come in halfway and say, because somebody was suspended. Are you getting me? How legal that suspension is not the issue to me to discuss here, okay. Because I don't have the competence to decide if it was legally or illegally done. But I'm saying that in the middle of a crisis, sort yourself out. You don't just come out and say, okay, we are now independent. I wish, I'd started this in a very long time. I would have been the one clapping for them with my hands and everybody say, this is where we want to go. You talked about the state of athletics. Jide, let me tell you something. Athletics produced the first ever international medal for Nigeria. I was in Vancouver. Emmanuel Ifajuna, I think in 1954 or so, when he did the jumps. Growing up, you will see that exercise book. Mm-hmm. Exercise book. Mm-hmm. You will see a jumper.
That's it.
You will see a jumper that is there. That jumper is Emmanuel Ifajuna. That was the first ever medal that Nigeria got at the international levels. Our first ever Olympics gold came from athletics. Choma Juma in 1996 when she beat a class field to pick that individual gold for Nigeria, and the only individual gold we have up till now. So basically, we've come down. We have gone like you said, from hero to zero, from grace to grass. But if we want to come out and say yes, we could get it done. You're just talking about endorsement of. I'm happy I heard you just say that they just had about $2.5 million.
I'm not thinking maybe that's where the autonomy is coming from.
Okay. So probably your father keeps giving you money, then you got your first job, and he said, "Okay, father, I am now." You understand? It is intriguing, like I said, governments. On his other hands, you understand? I saw the government, the minister directing that, okay, sack this person, the players are doing that and all this. Are you getting me? I think government should not be involved in the day-to-day running of federations. They should not. They should not. It's policy. Okay. You direct policy. You sit behind. One day, because like we are where we are today because most of them, including the Gosu and we are all nominated by. It is the government hand that is putting them there. It is, how do I say, the voice of the voice of Jacob. So basically, that is the thing. So we should learn to clean this act well. If they want to go up, they should not divorce with a lot of acrimony. I think it is not necessary.
All right, let's look at some of the high points of what brought about this autonomy. One of it is the fact that the new deal has been signed with Puma. It's worth $2.7 million. It's going to run for 4 years, 2019 to 2022. I hope it won't end in tears, though. That is what I'm thinking about. And of course, they have begun a process to register AFN as an agency, separate corporate body.
So yeah, why don't they register first before you declare autonomy?
I'm even shocked.
Of course, it begins with a resolution. Probably, I mean, they decided that this is where we want to go. A lot of bitterness, Solomon resigning. A lot of them, and the rest was okay, fine. If that be the case, like we had maybe about 29 states or so, federations were there in Oka when they made, which for out of 36, 37, that means a lot of a majority. Maybe the whole house is coming together as one. A lot of, but like I said, you don't pack out of your father's house in anger. You don't. The ministry, like we said, the last one, we saw it everywhere. We saw in basket. We talked about the basketball thing. Up to today, it has not been resolved. We still hang here. We don't know. Some people are handling the local league. Others are responsible for international and stuff like that. This athletic federation has helped from Go football. They've just gotten their voice now that some kids have been thrown out and other. So a lot of these things are still all there, but we said it can be done. We cannot. Enough of this bitterness, enough of this self-centeredness, enough of this I. Let us put the nation first.
Can we say that this kind of acrimony, does it attract corporate sponsorship? Because you've named it right now. The basketball is in. There's so much acrimonious, bad blood already. There's a bad blood generating already.
Now we have to AFN.
How do we get the funding? Because Olympics is around the corner. Of course, you want to pull out from the government stronghold, but already there is an Olympic. You might go back to the government to ask for fund because you'll be representing Nigeria at the Olympics. So how do you match that?
When you look at it, also the federations are part of the NOC. And the NOC to IOC, and then it is the government that have just inaugurated the interministerial that we know we're running. Of course, government do not interfere in the IOC itself, and NOC are also independent bodies. So I don't know how they are going to do it because you have to get the athletes from the various states. You have to bring athletes to the national, and then the government has they are going to be a government representative. So government is a government that will take them there to the IOC and say these are Nigerian athletes that will be going. So I don't know how it is going to work. And then the AFN, has been AFN because it's Athletic Federation of Nigeria. I mean, is it possible for them, to go to the school sports, look at athletics? Are they also involved with that or not? At what level do they, do they come into play? Do they, the activities come into play? I mean, if the athletes are discovered from the local government, from the grassroots, from the schools, who do you take it from? Where is that handover done? Because is it the Ministry of Sport and the Ministry of Youth that are handling them? Do you go there to take the athletes? Are they your athletes, or are they going to create their own athletes? I mean, so we
must get that right.
So you see, we must look at the structure. You see, it's not basically Jide or Ken, or you sit down here and say this is what we want to do. There must be a recognized channel, a recognized organogram, a recognized structure that you moving from one place to the other. It is a destination thing. It is a process. It is you don't just stop at somewhere. It is a process. You start from identifying who identifies. Is it the AFN that will send people to the school to go identify because school sport is paramount? It is important. It is pedestal from which before they are going to get to that to the end. No. So until we understand it, it is easy for boys. No, we are not doing this, we are doing that, and everybody's okay. We want to do marathon. It is not, in Nigeria, when one man starts one thing, at the time they want to do, what are those banks they were doing? They want everybody, finance houses, everybody now started having, now, so Lagos has a marathon, now we have about 30 marathon, everybody wants to do it, and that is the Nigerian thing. Everybody wants to do it until it crashes, and then you get up, and then I hope some people get out of that crash or they go with it, So basically, that is what I'm saying here. The whole arrangement here, talking about sponsorship. Of course, they just announced they have 2.75 million endorsement. Oh, beautiful. And that's what I want to hear from all the federations, not just athletics, that we are not going cap in hand to government, that we cannot go for a championship in Cotonou because we don't have fund, that we cannot house them, that we cannot pay them allowances, that we cannot, that we cannot have an industry from which somebody will say, I am in the sport industry and I'm a billionaire because I am in the sport industry, not a pauper. Not because I am running, I cannot feed, not because I play football, I cannot feed my family, not because I'm in volleyball, not because I'm in boxing and you cannot fight once in 3 years. How do you feed your family? So we need to look at that. Do we have a sport industry, GD? That is the necessary. That is what it's all supposed to be. That is where we should be looking at it from. That is the paramount. It is not who is in the board or who is not in the board. These are those general things that you ask yourself how they got there. Where did the AKMUs? Where are they? The Danningerens, the people that you look up to and say, these people did things, and then you now have, So basically, do we have a sport industry?
Wow, that's $1 million question anyway, because that's it. And now back to the issue you're asking, because it takes people competence to run a sport industry. Now they've said, the AFN have said they want autonomy. But one of the issues of this, contending issues about this autonomy is that there is a technical director who is still part of this autonomy, who has been suspended by maybe the sport minister. If you have that kind of person who cannot really put logistics together for athletes, how will that kind of person manage sponsorship funds and
well, to you believe he cannot manage that. You and I did not appoint him there. Would not look at his responsibilities and say, and then you see, if those who appointed him felt that he has done the right thing, which is why they are retaining him. Are you getting me? Because it is the person who gave him the responsibility. We find out if actually he carried it out to the letter, or to the satisfaction of his supervisor, therein who are his employers. But that is where I said it. And then when you look at the issues, it began even before this minister, because there was a letter from the former minister to the board asking them to withdraw. And then the players' representative now came and said, this is not what we want. So there are a lot of things, intrigues that are there. But I wish they can come out in the open. I wish they can understand one thing, GD, that if I or yourself, you go to the CAC and incorporate a company, it is your personal company. But when you do it on behalf of Nigeria, it should not be a do or die affair. It should not. It should not. So if you appoint somebody, and then the whole world said, like you saw it there, when is the minimal time before you can pull out from an event, and it will not affect your participating in the other event? If you're a technical director who understands the rules and regulations of athletics, and then you didn't at that point in time, it is shown that yes, you fell off, that we have to bring a delegation to go and beg and plead and humble ourselves so that we can participate, because our technical director did not get the know-how, which is what you've just said, that the processes that you cannot, enter for an event, pull out, because he pulled out for one. That means you are pulled out from all, basically. And then, so sometimes people should also have that grace that when you don't do it well, throw in the towel. Don't allow people to push you out. It's just, I'm going to do. You're not doing it for yourself. It is Athletics Federation of Nigeria, the board, G.D. Olanero, Ken Ochonogo, we are all members of Nigeria. So you are doing it on our behalf. You are answerable to us. I want to see whether the people you put your room, they are all Nigerians. The same thing I told them in basketball. In basketball, you have both sides excellent Nigeria who are represent Nigeria who are well. Just a matter of ego. Bury your ego and come together. The same thing here, a lot of this and this, that, like I said, but don't muddle the issues. Don't use one, don't overlap. Treat one issues independently. Trash it out to the extent and then take a decision. If we do that, then it will not be, it is because I am in this side or because I am in that side. Wow. Now it is we have divided. Some states are in this side, some states are in that side. Who do IWF recognizes and who does the government recognize? That is the million naira question.
Wow. All right, that's it. It's a million naira question that Ken just asked, and I don't have answer though. I don't have answer myself, but I hope that those responsible will get an answer so that it won't affect Nigeria's campaign at next year's Olympic. It's just around the corner. Summer 2020 is there already, and before we know it, it will be Olympics time. Thank you, Ken. It's a pleasure for coming around today. It's really you made my day anyway.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine at any time.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for the show today, Sport Exchange. Let's do this some other time. Until I come away, remember, sports is big business. It's money spinning, and you can make your world out of it.